All right, welcome back. So I'm going to post this one just after the last one where I was at Mang Inasal. Just want to comment about the food a little bit. Palabok was what the meal was called, and the empanada, as may be predicted, was sweeter than I remember in Mexico. And I don't mean sweet empanadas in Mexico, I mean savory empanadas in Mexico, or even the United States for that matter. I mean, what can I say? Filipino food never fails to disappoint. The meal is sitting in my belly like a brick. It's basically rice noodles with some sort of sauce on top. And I'd love to try this sometime, made as home cooking by some abuela or whatever grandmother is called in Cebuano or in Basayan. But I'm not going to because I'm leaving in very few days, and thank God for that. I mean, so Philippines has chain restaurants, which I only think is bad influence by Americans. So Jollibee's, you may have heard of, that was Mang Inasal. There's two dim sum, if I may call it that, chains. There's a sort of a Western chain called Jerry's. What I remember in Chiang Mai, and this is certainly true in Chiang Mai, I don't know about Bangkok or Phuket or someplace like that, but there were no fast, I will say there's no fast food, there were no chain Thai restaurants. Fast food meant that, okay, it's cooked and it's in a steam tray. Majority of the food that I ever had there in local restaurants was cooked to order. You know, it's not that they didn't have the wontons pre-made or anything like that. That's a lot of work. But basically everything was cooked to order. And just far, far superior. Anyway, I'll get off that. So that's what the dish was called. It's a brick in my belly. I'm sure the water will help make it more brick-like. So as I said in the last video, a viewer asked me about mosquitoes and cockroaches and bugs and stuff. When I first moved to Guadalajara, Mexico, I stayed in fact, the only time I stayed in Guadalajara, I lived there for 6 months, in a very old building in the American colony, in Colonia Americanas. And being a very old building, it was completely infested with tiny ants. Now, as long as you keep your place clean, the tiny ants don't want to come into your place. They want to go into somebody who doesn't keep clean. Same with cockroaches. I didn't really see many cockroaches. But they are something that will exist after a nuclear meltdown in winter, along with Twinkies. So they're probably there, but I wasn't dirty enough to ever see them. The ants were, maybe they're not even coming for your food. Maybe they're on a pathway from inside the wall on your sill and out the window to go down to the bottom of the ground floor or something like that. And I used to see them on the floor a lot. I never really saw them on my counters or anything. So mosquitoes, there's a dengue mosquito here in Southeast Asia, same as in Mexico. It's a different type of mosquito than we have back home. They come out mostly in dawn and dusk. And then you'll see a lot of them. That was true both, as I said, in Mexico and in Bali. And here. I've been bitten a number of times by mosquitoes here. I don't really open the window. Screens are not common. I found, particularly for local people in Mexico, they just leave their windows open and they're immune to the bugs. I don't know. You don't really have to worry about dengue. You only have to worry about dengue if there's someone around who has dengue. Mosquitoes don't give you dengue directly. They transfer it from somebody's blood who has dengue. So I've been bitten by countless mosquitoes here. I never saw, you can go back and watch one of Gio's videos from long ago. He had a huntsman spider in his bathroom one time, and huntsman spider is like this big. No thanks, I don't want to see them. My concern about living in Bali was, I remember I had to go outside one night, and even though it was a small city, you know, my concern was, okay, Lord, don't let me step on a king cobra, because that will kill me. There's cobras there. There may be that sort of thing here, but Cebu is a pretty big city. Nothing like that ever. Certainly there are in Chiang Mai, not snakes per se, but I mean there's wild. Thailand is a tropical jungle, so there's tigers and stuff like that, and Bali has a lot of very poisonous things. What am I? I remember one time, twice in fact, I saw monitor lizards swimming in my pool. But there's also, kraits, which are very poisonous snakes, other things like that, soy dogs, wild dogs everywhere who are very dangerous, or can be. What other bugs? I think most people are concerned about mosquitoes, ants, and cockroaches. Keep your place clean. It won't be really an issue at all. Let me think of what else. No, I can't think of anything else. So I hope that answers your question. Again, if it didn't, please feel free to ask me more. I may not do a video about it. I may just, put it in the comments. But I do, as I said in the last video, appreciate very much your comments and suggestions. And I really like that we're developing a little community here, and we're talking back and forth. I think sometimes some of you even talk to each other in the comments, and that's perfectly fine. I'm the star, that's all. I'm the ham, I'm the face, and the voice. So let me think. As I said, the next one's going to be my scheme about living in 2 different countries, paying rent, but only paying rent for 6 months, even though you get a year lease, and maybe even how to get around the deposit. So that's what's coming up. After that, I'm gonna really need more suggestions. After that, the video, I'm gonna try to do that one while I'm still here, the scheme. After that one, I'm not gonna do a video until I am coming to you. Maybe I'll do one from Singapore again, the airport. I mean, you've seen it already. There's nothing to it. I do got to make certain I bring food. To buy, again, it's going to be fast food, American Big Mac or something like that. Hamburgers, I went to Burger King in Singapore, like $8, $9. I'm not paying that, so I'm going to try to get something here and bring it on the plane. I'll bring an empty water bottle that I bought and fill up with water inside the airport, and that'll be fine. And I'll be arriving in Bangkok about 7:30. I'm going to get a shuttle over to my hotel, so that'll be probably about 8 o'clock. I'm hoping to God that there's a local restaurant open, and I will come to you. I'll do a short video then. I'll be pretty tired, but say, welcome to Buddy Show, primetime coast to coast, and coming to you from the Big Mango. Okay, until then, stay frosty.